All right, you're asking for it, so here it is. Listen to this.
I want you folks laughing at we partners pod, kid. You understand? We in here drinking, singing, all that shit, dog. Get wet, all that.
All right, welcome to the 117th episode of the Drinking Partners Podcast. This is getting harder to say with every episode, but this is our John Havlicek episode. I don't know if you know who John Havlicek is, but it is very appropriate because he is a white athlete that I didn't know much about, just like how I was with craft beer. I didn't know much about it. It's thought to be a white thing, and you know what? It's actually pretty cool. He's a very successful basketball player, and I'm very happy for ESPN putting me on to him, even though I still haven't seen any real highlights of him.
Yeah, and we are highly successful. Through this drinking thing, and we like to thank all of the brewers that have helped put us on as well.
Exactly, and if we win Best Podcast again, we're going to start like a Celtic-like run of championships out here. So vote for us.
Vote for us. That'd be
Write
dope.
us in, you know what I mean? I am half the host in tandem, Ed Bailey. I'm joined as always with my co-host, Dave Bracey. Say what up to the people.
What's good with you people? I am Dave Bracey, and this is the Drinking Partners. And if you're looking for us, you can find us on epicastnetwork.com/partners. Oh, you know what? That's all bullshit. If you're looking for us, you can find us on epicastnetwork.com/Drinking Partners. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, and Google Play under Drinking Partners. And you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher,
IG, Facebook, and Twitter.
At Partners Pod.
See, I've been here 117 episodes in. I kind of know your part, but I don't.
Yeah. So, you getting back in the game. This is what's up.
God forbid you ever have to have a substitute for you like I did. 'Cause we just going to ignore that part of it. You guys just have to find us organically. Pretty much.
Google us.
And if you're listening, you already fucking know.
Yeah.
You already listening to us. So that's good, man. I'm happy to be here.
Man, it's a beautiful spring day, man. Like it is. I feel like for me, I'm a bear, right? You know what I mean? Like I kind of hibernate in the winter times. I don't really do much of anything unless I'm getting paid to. You know, like it's got to be a destination. When you leave the house in the wintertime, like you got to know where you're going. It's not like
you can't just be out. Ain't no let outs in the wintertime. You ain't playing no let out.
There's no leisurely strolls. So it's nice to like walk outside and not like fear death immediately. You know what I mean?
Well, no, because this is killing my household because you got to understand it was 70 on Wednesday of this week and it was 35 on Friday with snow. So my kids, they've been coughing all night. I don't know if I'm a good parent or not, but whoever cursed this city with all 4 seasons this week, fuck them. You know what I mean?
No, it snowed on Friday and then it was like 70 degrees on Saturday and motherfuckers was like mowing their lawns and I just refused to mow my lawn the day after it snowed. Like that's just like
you still got some leeway.
Yeah, that's where like if the snow didn't kill it, you know what? It earned that win.
Your woman ain't been on
like,
you, but for 6 hours about mowing the lawn. Like, come on, it was just snowing yesterday. Like you just try to. That's how men are. That's how domesticated men are. We will do anything to get out of the house.
Man.
We ain't got to get off of the land. Just get out of the actual physical structure. Give us that.
I'm a porch motherfucker all summer.
Porches are important.
Porches will save relationships, save lives. I mean that.
I'm telling you, we were just talking about building a house from the ground up. And when I do that, I'm building a little balcony right outside of my bedroom door, and I'm just in the middle of an argument. I'm just climb out the window onto a fucking balcony, and it's just gonna fit me. It's gonna fit my body perfectly, or it's gonna be one of them things from the movies where it's gotta scan my eyeballs. Like you can't come out here. I just leave in the argument, sitting outside of my window.
This will be a regular ass window. You will crawl out all awkwardly and shit like fuck you, and then slam the window shut.
Yeah, listen, ain't no better way to leave an argument than have your eye scanned, and she can't duplicate that. Scan my eye, and I leave, and it's soundproof out there. Like the window's soundproof, so you can't hear me. I can't hear what the fuck you say. That'd be awesome.
If 117 episodes, man. We've been asking y'all, and we're gonna continue to ask you, man. Please hop on iTunes, rate and review. That's how we know we're doing well. That's how we let others know that we're doing well, and that's how we continue to do well. So please, man, hop on iTunes, rate and review, man.
You love us. You tell us in public when you see us that you love us. Now just log on to iTunes, tell the internet. And as always, in lieu of rates and reviews, we do accept shots of Hennessy, you know what I mean, for those rates and reviews.
Always.
Like, shout out to Car Guy DJ.
Yeah, true, man. Car Guy DJ on Instagram. Check him out, man. He started that trend.
Yeah, he did. Nothing like a brother walking up with a shot of Hennessy to make you remember his Instagram name.
Yeah. True. If you're listening right now and you're like, man, these guys sound smooth as shit, man, that is courtesy of Epicast.
Family.
True. So if you're looking to get your podcast to sound better, or maybe you want to start your own podcast, need help promoting an event, or maybe you want to advertise your product on an award-winning podcast such as this, we kind of something.
A little something. We trying to start our Celtic.
Yeah. But if you're looking for any of that, hit up Epicast. You go to epicastnetwork.com/services, fill out the form, and tell them that the Drinking Partners sent you.
Yeah, they're the engine behind this here, man. This car we driving, they're the engine behind it. Like he said, you can get your podcast to sound better, or you can get it to perform better.
True.
Or both. Come to the family.
Do what you do. Speaking of folks doing what they do, you are doing your motherfucking thing. May 17th.
May 17th.
At the Improv. Headlining.
We trying to do what it do, man. We trying to take this Partners Pod thing to the next level. Don't act like you ain't on the show. You know my partner in crime. You know we gonna be on the show, because as always, when we put something together, it's gonna be something major, something big. So listen, come out. We gonna drop the promo code. It'll be out on the internet. We're going to have the tickets are going to be discounted cheap. We just want you to come out, and it's a celebration of life, man. Come out, enjoy us, enjoy the fact that I'm still alive, because I'm definitely enjoying it.
Cheers to that, man.
Damn,
cheers to that.
So May 17th, headline, they got a real nigga down at the Improv.
Yeah.
They got a real nigga down at the Improv headlining.
Oh, man, we'll wild out
time.
like niggas in Paris. It's like,
I might come out to that. Who knows? But we also have some other things going on.
Yeah.
May's a good month for us.
May is a good month. We got on the 27th we got Compton Theater as always. Last Saturday of every month. I mean, we got the Epic Night of Comedy, and this month we got Aaron Kleiber headline.
Yeah, man, it's long overdue. It's been a long time coming, but we got Kleiber down. You know, he be so busy out on the road.
Man, whenever you can lock him down for any month,
you gotta get him in. Funny guy. If you've been down to the Improv, you've probably seen him. If you've been in Pittsburgh watching comedy, you've either seen him or seen the work that he's done. So we're very excited to have
And if you listen to the show, I mean, he's been on a couple episodes, so go back in the.
I'm supposed to have that ready.
Yeah, I mean, you can go back in the crates. Yeah, I mean, listen to him, and he's also on the network. He is family on the network, so check out Grown Dad Business.
Grown Dad Business. Aaron Kleiber making fatherhood funny.
There it is. So, I mean, he'll be down there May 27th at Compton Theater. And if you're looking for tickets for that will be comptontheater.ticketleap.com, man. It's 15 in advance, 18 at the door. Always. There's going to be free brew. Shoe Brew is actually hosting this one. They're going to be sponsoring the event. So we'll have Shoe Brew down there handing out free beer, BYOB. So you can bring your own brew. So come with a little something to get fucked up on. We're going to give you a little bit more to get fucked up on, and then we're going to get you these last opinion systems.
We make it a night. It's a whole night.
It's something special.
We provide drink and entertainment. We basically taking you out on a date.
And date night for less than $30. Like $30. What are they doing in that?
It's a proverbial menage a trois. You can bring a date. We taking you on a date. We getting you drinks. We getting you laughs, and we getting you lubed up. That's a terrible advertisement for that show, but it's so good.
It's basically plug and play. You know what I mean? Plug your girl into this, and you will play.
We gotta stop advertising.
I think they know. 117 episodes, man. It just is what it is. So yeah, I mean, check that out. ComptonTheater.ticketleap.com for that. And then Boom Concepts. We're gonna be down at Boom Concepts May 28th. That's a Sunday. They're gonna have some brunch. They're gonna cater that. So we'll have more details of that. That's still coming into the mix. But shout out to Genesis. Shout out to Genesis on their 10th anniversary.
Yes.
They've been doing it, big in the game. And if you're looking for them, they've been on the podcast. Another number. We're gonna have to pull these up at some point. That's
see, I didn't know you was going straight to job. I'm still looking for Clyde, but he's pre-21, so.
But check them out. But again, we'll have more details on that. That'll be May 28th little brunch thing down in Garfield. They've been doing big things for a while, and we'll be doing big things together then. So keep an ear out for that.
And check out episode 92. We had the guys from Boom on there.
Yeah.
I found it. I'm back. Buzzy's gonna edit it to where it doesn't seem like there was any, space between that, because that's what Epicast does. It was dope, man. We got the family in the building today.
Yeah, it's dope because we've been drinking on a little something that they brought through, and we love having a family cast.
Yeah, man. It's one of those situations where the family came and one-upped you. Like it's like the cool uncle who came through with, you know what I mean? Like you drank regular Hennessy, but he came through with the Hennessy privilege. You're like, oh, this is a hell of a Saturday. Like I love this uncle. That's what's up. But we got it's a family affair in the building today, so we're very excited about this episode because he's gonna come here and drop some knowledge because that's what our guests do.
True. So this is Scot MacTaggart from the Pitchworks podcast. Say what up to the people.
What up to you people?
Okay.
How you doing, guys?
I don't know. Interesting. What up to the people?
Yeah.
You got to follow that what up with like mad information.
Yeah.
Now it's a super
Okay, so two things
podcast.
I'm learning sitting on the couch, right? So first of all, like I'm sitting on the couch, and it's the first time I've ever sat on this couch.
Isn't that a lovely
in
feeling?
life?
Oh.
Like honestly, I didn't even realize this room looked like this. Right?
You envy your guests now after being on that couch
No.
because it's so comfortable.
No, that's not true.
Oh,
Not
man.
one word of that is true.
No? Oh,
No.
Shit.
If anything, I feel like I'm falling in, and I might never ever get out.
Oh, it's
But-
the get out.
Yeah.
Get out, okay.
I got the tall guy
I
thing.
got the get out reference, but you can't really pull that shit on our podcast. We two black dudes.
Oh, see. Yeah, well, that's why I had to be careful with my what up to you people, right? It's like they're gonna say that guy over there, he's trying to pretend like he fits in, and let's not joke. He doesn't fit in.
Well, that couch it's the scotch of couches, because this is my first time actually drinking a scotch, and you brought a very good scotch through. And
Get out of town. First one.
I didn't feel like I had been successful enough for scotch.
Oh my God, man! I
And
am
you can't
so
really-
glad you told me that.
And you drink it. You got to drink scotch a certain way. Yeah, I mean, it's not you and the fellas about to hit the club drink.
Right.
It's like you and the fellas about to play some chess or talk about some money. type
I don't know
shit.
about that, right? Because I've been in all the places where I've drank scotch, and I don't remember any of those.
Oh wow.
I'm pretty sure it was more like, hey, let's have some scotch. It's pretty much the whole show.
Yeah, it probably get you to that point quickly, because I took that first swig and I was like, oh damn, this is gonna be a long cast.
Ooh, ooh. Oh no, it did. You feel it. It is delicious. Very layered. Give us a little bit of background. Why are you a Scotch guy? Why did you bring this particular Scotch?
So you guys remember about 6 months ago we started the Pitchworks podcast, and I had been listening to you guys trying to sort of figure this whole thing out.
Yeah.
I don't really listen to podcasts.
You're listening to us
You
still
guys-
trying to figure it
yeah.
out.
A little bit.
We the wrong.
No,
we're
for
figuring
real.
it out with
I'm
us.
sitting on a couch and I'm like, man, this isn't anything like. I'm going to steal like 4 things from these guys, right? But I sent you guys that beer, which I know nothing about. I don't know anything about beer. I don't even.
It
pretend.
was a good choice for a man that didn't know anything about beer.
Yeah,
we'll
come
give
on,
you
it's-
that. We'll give you that. It was church, It
was a church brew works.
We respect the church brew works.
I appreciate you trying to let me out, right?
It's an entry level beer, man, and I was
Yeah,
on that for a
yeah.
while too. So don't feel any type of way, because I was bringing entry level, like Great Lakes. That's an entry level beer as well, and that's
Yeah.
what I
I
hang my
can't
hat
tell
on.
you like how little of a shit I give about like entry level versus like advanced coursework. Like this is not a gym I want to get good at, right?
Yeah.
like I drink beer and I'm just like, I get that people are really into it. I just can't follow them down that hole. It's just not me. Now, on the other hand, what we're drinking right here, this is Lafroig, and it's got a smell, fills up the room.
Yeah, it does.
And I'm telling you right now, that's half the adventure, right? You just kind of sit there and you enjoy it. You don't even have to be sipping on it. Sit around with your buddies, and it can
What
be
is that
hours.
smell? It's like a peat smell or
That's what-
something like. It's
that's
like
what they
a
tell me it
very
is, yeah.
mossy kind of. It smells like Scotland. Like I spent time in England, and it's very like a foggy.
Do you like it up there?
Yeah, it was.
No.
Yeah,
Just say no.
I love.
Yeah,
the,
like we ain't got that many Scottish lips.
It
We're
was.
not gonna cut the list.
He's like, man, we can't lose the Brexit
The
vote.
weather was shitty as fuck, but the people were cool as hell once you got to know them.
He's like, vote yes on Lafroig.
But I mean, if I had to take a vacation, there's other countries I would choose.
Yeah,
So,
I haven't
okay.
had anybody be like, you know what, the bikini girls were fantastic in Scotland, and oh, by the way, no, that doesn't happen. But as whiskey goes, this is a good one. And you don't have to win the Brexit vote or the Scottish independence vote. That's fine. You didn't enjoy it. That's cool.
No. I enjoy the English experience. Like I said, I mean, it's just, again, it's very rainy. It's very dark and damp, kind of, and like I said, if I'm going on vacation, like I get enough of that in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
That's why, like, I feel like when I got friends that move north, like when they go to say like a Chicago or lateral, like a Chicago, it's like
that's the last friend on the list of visitation.
Yeah.
You move to New Orleans or Miami, you high on my list of priorities now.
Be like, I think I got business in your town.
Yeah, true. You move to Boston, it's like, all right.
So yeah.
The NFL.
The only availability I've gotten is in August. I mean, I'm trying to make it up, but August is all I got.
True. It's tough. And the same thing with England. It's like, because I mean, Boston, they got dope shit, and in England they got dope shit or whatever. But again, like, like a large part of my vacation is weather based.
Yeah, a large part of dope shit is what atmosphere am I doing it in? Like, what context am I doing it in? And that, even if it's indoors, it's like, all right, so what's the ride over to this indoor spot? Like if I got to deal with a bunch of snow to get to the dope shit, I might miss out on the dope
But
shit.
let me tell you something.
Windows
You find some
rolled up
dedicated
and-
people in some bad weather, right? Like, you get to some bad weather, whatever they're working on is super important, right?
Yeah.
You're like, no, we don't want to go to Miami. We want to do it here in Boston. You're like, well,
If you're doing anything business related in the northern, that's why I feel like Cali versus the Northeast is completely different. They get much more work done because it's like we need a reason to live and be happy and take our mind off of this bullshit. Whereas like in Cali, you got the beach. Like if life is not good, if you're not it's cool because I can just go to the beach.
Yeah, like anytime, it's just sitting there like the devil on your shoulder, being like, dude, it's really nice out again.
Well, yeah, and I think that's actually the perfect segue into the introduction to your podcast, the Pitchworks, because you basically you allow people to pitch their small business ideas on the podcast, and you all discuss that back and forth. With that being in Pittsburgh, how do you gauge the individuals that you come across? Are they extremely passionate? Have they not had a different outlet, or is it just like everybody's doing this? It's always a labor of love, or is it like, yo, this is money that I'm trying to get?
What we're doing is really we're trying to help people present what it is that they do in a way that they feel clean at the end, right? Because there's nothing worse than being told like you got to be like a liar or a thief or whatever to just make a living, right? Like you guys come in here, and this is a labor of love. You can see it. You guys love what you're doing, right? And if somebody asks you what you're doing, you don't have to think twice about like how does my podcast affect people, right? You're like, I'm here to entertain, and I worked on my craft for years, and I learned timing, and I learned, like what people laugh at and what people don't. And frankly, you guys take it on the chin, right? I know when you
I'm gonna pause that, and there's no offense to you, but I gotta pause that.
Go, pause away.
I gotta pause that.
Yeah.
Just taking it on the chin, pause, but keep going.
I'm talking boxing type, and I'm sorry if the Lafroig is already, taking you to a different place, man.
Yeah, no, you do. You see much more failure than you do success, like hand over fist, coming into this. In anything that you start that is a labor of love or passion. I mean, like eventually you want to at some point make, like some sort of return, a living off of it if you can, but like. First and foremost, you have to like really want to do that.
But you don't ever feel like a scumbag trying to sell people on the idea, laughing at your jokes, because what you're doing is good for them. And it's a really clear expectation, right? Listen to my show. I think you're going to laugh. Come to the Comptra Theater. I think you're going to laugh. That's good stuff, right? But then you get into some other stuff where, I don't know, we're doing banking, right? And yeah, it starts to get like, you notice how the hush goes over the room. And like, well, some of those guys are not the best people. And you can't feel like you're hurting people when you give that pitch. And I'm there to basically say, like, this part I think you should keep. This part I think you should pitch. And, hey, are you really doing something good for the world?
Yeah. I mean, you do run into that in the arts because there is that line of, like, what is good for people? What's good for myself? Am I doing this solely for money and like to sell out entertainment, or is there a deeper meaning behind it? And as I'm coming up, am I trampling other people to get here? So like, while what we do on the surface of it, like, you come to a show, people don't see that. They just see people laughing and having a good time. But the entertainment business is
Brutal.
Dude, yeah.
I'm married to an actress, right?
Okay.
So, they don't mind telling you like exactly what they think about you in such a way that you became a product instead of being a person. And especially with women, like women take it the worst, right? You're too fat, you're too old. My wife was like, I think 31, 32 when they started having her read for all the mom scripts, right? And it was like, there's no counseling for that. They're not like, hey, by the way, we got this special department that's gonna, make you feel better. I mean, yeah, she was the mom.
It's just like, yo, you can't get that role. You're too old.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even at 31, that makes me feel kind of weird. That makes me feel old now.
We kind of are getting there, man.
Yeah. Well, I guess I can't play a high schooler anymore.
I don't know. It's different with men, right?
Yeah, it is different with men. I mean, I think all the Spider-Men were like 30.
That's the kind of stuff I'm
35.
talking about. All the action stars. Like you look at Tom Cruise, like jumping off a train, right? And he's got to be like 50 something years old at this point. And his girlfriend in the movie is always 24.
Yeah. And Spider-Man is supposed to be a high school student, but I mean, Tobey Maguire had to be like 38 when he
Spider-Man's
played
a high
that.
school student.
Like
yeah,
if
he's a high school student. Yeah, but it was like Tobey Maguire was like 38 when he played that role.
If Tom Cruise was self-aware in the movies, like and started to do the giggle, he'd be Quagmire from the Family Guy. Be like, yeah, she's 24, right? I'm 55 years old. Giggity, right? It makes no sense for men, but yeah. So at 31 years old, she's talking to agents, she's talking to placement people, and they're like, yeah, we think we're going to move you into this different role. And comedy, I think, is even harder. And I've never done it. I've known some of you guys, and you guys are always like raw nerves out there. It's not different than the salespeople I talk to or the founders that I talk to, where they take this baby of theirs, right? It's theirs, and they own it, and they really want it to succeed. And then people just trash it, right? Like, and they don't have to trash it so much as just not laugh in your case. And that's the same, right? 5 minutes of no laughter, you basically, I have to believe, think your career's over, right?
Yeah,
At least that night,
Yeah.
It feels terrible.
Yeah, especially when you're starting out. I mean, you start to like build a skin. And I think, there's a lot of the same skills that go into sales work and, comedy or whatever. And people had always told me, oh, you should be a salesman or whatever, or a lawyer, or
you could
whatever.
do it.
And like, there are a lot of the same skills. You have to really believe in the product. Like, if you don't believe in the product, you at least be able to like bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that salesmanship, that showmanship.
There's
that,
a connection with people.
That. Yeah, the connection with people, like understanding, read, and react. The whole nine. And then taking L after L after L
for serious.
Well,
yeah, for the majority, and then building that skin and adapting to your customer base.
Now you just touched on what it is I'm trying to do, right? You're talking about basically like getting paid to get rejected day in, day out. And you guys basically know that better than most people.
Well, yeah, we do. I mean, I think the biggest difference, and Day touched on it, is that investment or that belief in the product.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when you're like having a sales background, being in sales, you're selling somebody else's product.
Yeah.
And what's weird is like even working in banking, the way the banks speak to you as an employee, but have you speak to individuals that you're in front of, the bank tries to tell you, all right, we have this position. We want to take this position with our customers, this, that, and the third. But at the end of the day, we want you to sell as much as possible.
But I'm going to pull you inside out for a second, because the thing that is yours is actually harder to be motivated and secure in, right? Like when it's your baby, nobody better say it's ugly, right?
Very true.
When it's the bank's baby, you get that gap, that little bit of daylight between you and the product, where you're like, well, if nobody wants it, it doesn't hurt me.
Yeah.
Right. I guess I'm speaking from the perspective of the investment. So I will take that rejection from my stuff, and even though I take it personal, if I'm really driven by it, I can take that level of rejection. Like I couldn't take a personal attack working at a bank, and you're personally attacking me over their product. I take that personally.
But you can quit. Right?
You could quit.
You can easily just divorce the whole thing.
But then you'd go get a job at another bank.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you start Bailey Incorporated, right? You're always Bailey.
Yeah.
Right? And every time somebody looks up Ed Bailey, they're like, oh yeah, there's that guy with that terrible product. And that stink never washes off, right? People feel that forever.
Yeah, that's true. Because I got a guy, he wrote about me on this place called thedirty.com.
Oh boy.
And I know
You were on The Dirty?
I was on The Dirty.
What?
Yeah, I was on The Dirty. I was on the dirty.
17 episodes. I just found out you was on the dirty.
I was on it because it's like it.
Somebody fill me in.
It didn't matter. So I guess I don't know anything about the site, but this guy wrote on me on the site, and they just bag on people. Like they just fucking talk shit on people.
Yeah, it's like a kind of a social, like a Craigslist where people get to just talk shit on people.
Basically.
I'm sure they have to make a huge investment before they're allowed to do that, right?
Yeah, they have to.
I'm sure it takes all kind of training.
They got to
have
type
a
in their
Boost
name
Mobile.
and email address.
Yeah, they have to have a Boost Mobile connection or at least a library card.
Yeah, it's much harder to destroy, right? So much harder to destroy than it is to create. That's what I keep hearing.
So to go with your point, it's not even a place that gets a lot of traction, or the post didn't get a lot of traction. But because he made a personal attack on me and my comedy, I still remember it. It still kind of burns.
Stings.
Like I still want to know who the fuck is this dude?
How long you been doing comedy?
I've been doing comedy for 4 years.
Okay.
And I was just like, who the fuck is
in
this
the early
guy?
going, though, right? You took some shots early, right? Where people were like, that guy's timing is wrong, or that guy, he lost the room and he didn't know it, right?
Yeah.
As you go on.
Meat lumps. You take your meat lump.
Yeah, you got to, right? And you get a little bit better and a little bit better. And you start figuring out, like, what's the average of people, right? And maybe it's different places have different averages, but you know kind of where you're trying to go, right? And nothing but total respect for comedians because frankly, you guys, this is art that happens and then it's gone, right? And I'm gonna mess you all up and look at Day in the face right now, and I can see Day coming to realization like right this second, right? You're like, oh my God, I just got inside your head. No, but there's that rejection that can happen in real life, and that's what my show's on, right? We're talking basically about how do you tell other people what you're working on, and a lot of times it's real near and dear to people.
Mm. Yeah, it's their baby. I mean, so what is your background?
So for probably about 20 years, I've done everything around this show's content, right? Sales, marketing, I've been advising, I've been consulting, everything that has to do with basically getting businesses started, selling things that other people made, selling things that I made. I really like to help people grow what they're working on. And I like believing in whatever it is that we're teaming up on. I really enjoy this kind of a feel where we're all kind of like together in the family. Right. We're doing this Epicast thing where like everybody's pushing towards a common goal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So what do you do now, and what led you into the podcast? What made you like want to, because podcasting is, it's a saturated thing. Everybody that has a fucking recording device can do it.
I know. Everybody with a phone decided they were in the podcast game.
Yeah, everybody feels that what they're saying is important.
I'm going to tell you right now, I don't listen to podcasts. I don't.
I don't either.
I'm glad you said it because I was afraid I was going to be alone on that one.
Yeah, I'm alone in most of that, and I'm probably the only person on the Epicast network and anybody that has a podcast that doesn't listen to podcasts.
Now I listen to you guys, right? And I listen to.
It's okay.
No, it's true. I listen to.
We were gonna let it slide, but
no, I can even prove it. But anyway, I listen to a couple of the other shows that are here on the network, right? Mostly just to get a sense of what other people are doing with the same tools, right? Because the shows on our network tend to sound a little bit better than some of the other things that you can hear, and that's the Whitman sampler I don't want, right? Like I don't want to go to the trouble of downloading your show and then finding out that it's Static City.
Yeah,
I hate that. I hate all that stuff.
Shout out to Epicast. Yeah, they do a great job of making sure we're not Static City.
Buzzy works like a coal miner. He does.
He works his ass off, man. He's working now. Well, sort of.
Well, I gave him some Lafroig, so I don't know if he is anymore.
No, but for me, like I rely heavily on Ed. He like listens to our podcast. He critiques. He keeps the questions interesting. He moves. And he does the same thing. He takes the same approach like with his on stage. Work. He listens and he critiques in the whole 9 or whatever. I've always come from I just want to kind of shoot off the cuff and not really take, I'm always afraid that like if I listen to other comedians or I listen to other podcasts, I'm somehow going to take some sort of element from that and unconsciously incorporate that in there.
And in my game, that's okay. In your game, that's poison.
Yeah, and like the thing about what we do, and I like the dynamic, is that like Ed comes from the background of beer, kind of like as a novice, and he's learning as he's going along. And I think that on the reverse end is like with the podcast, like I'm kind of taking it as I'm just kind of learning elements, and like Ed is more of a student of the game in that sense. So that's that's why I don't really get into other podcasts.
I'll tell you why I don't, and mine is a lot less diplomatic than yours.
Yeah.
Ready? Most of them are embarrassing, narcissistic masturbation. I just like, hey, today on the Ralphie Show, I'm going to tell you about the shows I watched. Hey, today on Marvel podcast number 147, I'm going to tell you why Hulk and Iron Man should fight in the next. I don't care. I don't even care a little bit.
Well,
And
I think
you got to have a purpose to your show. And most of them are just sort of like, hey, I think people will find me and think I'm funny. And that really gets old if it's somebody who hasn't actually put the work in. And you were just saying, like, Ed puts the work in for you guys. You got your sales and your operations, by the way, right? Day is sales, and he's like, put me out there. I'm the intuitive player. I'm the guy who's like, he's reading a customer, right? And Ed's sitting there back there, like with a little green accounting visor on, going like,
damn it,
we got to move this over into this column over here.
I am now.
I think it might be.
Life. Oh, fuck.
Did I just mess up your brand?
I'm fucked up.
I think I messed up your brand for good.
Those casts that like Ed wasn't here, like it was tough because like I was like I didn't have, like that kind of like. And then I had to take that. I was like, this isn't.
Gotta be a team, though. You gotta be a team. Like, you gotta know, you have to identify, when you're working with a team, identify your strengths.
Yeah.
I'm not as good a salesperson as Day. I'm not as socially apt to be out and about like Day, and Day takes that on, and that's what he does. And I happen to listen to a couple of podcasts, and I think what is good is we still have the attitude of, hey, we want to make it our own, but I listen to certain things that are like, okay, listen, it would be good to have this sort of structure to a certain degree with our podcast. Mm-hmm. And I think when people just jump into doing podcasts, I think from a sales background, what people really forget, the step they forget is whenever you're selling a product, you have to sell the value added.
You got to tell people why it's important to them.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And that means getting to know them a little bit.
Getting to know them.
Let's talk about you up on stage. You're not actually, okay, sometimes you are talking to people, right? But you're not saying like, excuse me, sir, what jokes would you like next, right? That's not how that works. You're reading body language. You're reading, are they looking at their phone or their watch, right? It's like, did they just whisper to the wife that they're going to go to the bathroom or something like that?
Yeah, what cues can I take from, your exterior, like your aesthetics? Like, how can I, it is a very read and react on stage.
So let me ask you a question. If you guys hit like sort of perfect, like you guys are now firing on all cylinders, where do you want to go ultimately?
Where with this?
Well, in general.
I mean,
what's your goal?
My goal is to die and have my browser erased before anybody gets to it.
All right. You send me a note and I'll do it.
Let's just put it in your will.
Yeah.
I think ultimately my goal with the cast is to be, I want to be for entertainment, especially in Pittsburgh, for entertainment, I want to be the person you go to. This is who we look up first to see what they're doing.
Yeah.
Who did they have on their cast?
Right.
What type of events are they doing? I think there's a void that needs to be filled here in the city, and we have the team to be able to do it. I mean, we have the podcast where we can come into your home at any point. We also have live podcasts where you can come see us do the podcast. We have live comedy shows.
Yeah.
We deal with a good bit of entrepreneurs in the city.
Absolutely,
and we're informed about what
and
people
frankly,
are doing.
The politicians are pulling for you too.
Politicians
They
as well.
love your
We've had
show.
a couple of them on. So it's almost like there's a.
I think there's two of them that might be. I don't think there's like one that might be pulling for us.
I don't know.
They both came on.
I've been watching your Twitter feed.
They both came on the fucking podcast.
Look, I didn't mean to make you respectable there, right?
Well,
my fault.
We fucked that up with Bike Pittsburgh. Like once I said the shit about Bike
we
Pittsburgh,
received hate mail.
Whoa, hate mail over Bike Pittsburgh.
Some hate mail.
But
Man,
it would be
can I
good
just
to
tell
be-
you that is a weird kind of edgy?
without even trying to be edgy, like.
That is the weirdest edgy I ever heard.
Dude,
yeah, we got the hate mail from the Bike Pittsburgh.
Well, I don't know. There's a lot of fucking bikers. I was driving today, and I guess I didn't know if there was like a marathon going or a Tour de France going on, or it was just because the sun
Man, when
was
you're getting
out.
the Bike Pittsburgh hate mail, I'll tell you what, you are officially in suburban edgy.
Yeah, I
Well,
think we've made it.
Bike Pittsburgh is like Trump supporters because you don't know who's actually on that squad. You don't know who's a member of Bike Pittsburgh.
It's funny
they don't
'cause
have
it's
bumper
true.
stickers.
Ooh, yeah, you don't, unless they got a fanny pack somewhere, at a party.
Or a squirt bottle.
Yeah, squirt bottle, or those like biker shoes or
Oh,
some
wait,
shit.
no.
with the-
You know what? I'm calling dibs on the Make America Great Again fanny pack and squirt bottle combo.
Damn
We're putting it on
you be
Cafe
confused
Press
as
right
shit.
now. Don't even try.
Are there Trump bikers? That would be the most confusing ass.
person in the world.
They'd run on diesel.
That would be the most hated individual in his neighborhood.
No, they run on diesel fuel, right? Not put little baby seals in for
That
fuel.
or a chick at Planned Parenthood with a "Make America Great" T-shirt on. That'd be like,
I'm not ruling it out.
like
The only difference is the chick at Planned Parenthood is some man's hero.
EB is not wrong.
Yeah.
This is a hard thing, man.
That is some man's hero.
You know what? This is like the worst game.
That's
Like
so
who-
fucked up.
Who's the Trump supporter in this crowd? Yeah.
so.
Like, guess who? That's what
I'm telling you.
Damn it, we should have a guess who, and you got to describe the Trump supporter.
All right, but I get the fanny pack. You guys can have the guess who.
All right, cool. So then, all right. So we just pitched our idea to him.
It was
he said it
strong,
was
too.
good. All right, cool.
It was strong. I mean, there's a lot of white pieces on that board.
Oh, but you got a Ben Carson or two on that motherfucker.
I would love to see what the checks look like on that arrangement. Uh-oh, was that too close to home?
Well, no, I mean, there's got to be a lot of zeros because he pretty much sold out slaves. He was like, you know what? They're immigrants.
What was that? Yeah, there was something like immigration.
He said that the slaves were immigrants who came over and worked for far less wage.
Yeah.
That
He
is one way of
basically,
describing.
yeah. He was like, oh, they came here for a better opportunity, and like, it was mad coonish.
It was coonish. I mean, if
Whoa,
I
hang on.
believed,
Translate for my benefit there. Coonish. What is
Coon,
that?
so a coon is basically a black
shucking and
person,
jiving.
Okay.
the Uncle Tom, the Sambo, kind of like the sellout, black person. And when you try to akin slavery with an Asian person is like a flight over.
You're taking out somebody else's trash.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like I'm gonna just get this flight over. I'm gonna go to school here and then like maybe go back and whatever. He tried to akin slavery to better opportunity. They were like, hey, come through, like do an internship over here in America, and no, I'm fucking like
That does not sound like any version of that story I've ever
and
heard.
what makes it coonish is not so much what he said. It's our belief, and we don't believe that you're saying it from an educated standpoint
Right.
when he said it. Not that he's not educated, but he wasn't saying it from an educated standpoint. He really just belittled the struggle because had he approached it from the standpoint of, hey, you know what, the first slaves were taking an immigration mindset in the sense that, white people came over, they told them that there was better opportunity, they could get rich, all of the gold was here, and then they were fooled into slavery. Okay, that's a different way of wording, and like, okay, you've got some actual, girth to what you're saying. But when you hear him say it, you feel like it's
it wasn't even in that. Like you got to look at the Dutch and the slave trade. Like there was not much choice. It wasn't like it wasn't like you got
he
duped.
generalized it to all the
it
slaves.
wasn't like they were recruiters like for the army. They came to your high school and was like, hey, better opportunities, like
Came to the
make America,
Jamaican,
like it wasn't like it wasn't like it was a choice, like, you know what, I think that's cool, and then you got duped once you on a boat. They were like, yo, they came to a couple motherfuckers was like, we need slaves, and they were like, I got some slaves, and then they were just like, nigga, get on the boat, and that's how it was. It wasn't like you were like, there was no choice involved.
Hang on
not
a second.
for the
Wait,
slave,
wait.
but
Exactly, for the slave, there was no choice involved. He tried
Proper credit for equating it to the military recruiter who hands out like the mini frisbees.
to make,
Right?
yeah, I mean, like that's what he was
Like,
trying
hey,
to
the
make.
military's fun. Come on out.
There was no choice. It was slavery. It was a slave trade.
I think his issue, he generalized the analogy, and he really he disrespected, the plight of the slaves by making it seem that way, and it didn't feel like he was trying to come from an educated standpoint, and we don't trust him in that way, and that's why it's
All right, so let me take this probably seriouser than you want to go, right? And you just stop me if you don't agree. But part of the problem that comes with like any sort of transitional period, right, is that people don't remember where they came from sometimes, right?
That's the biggest.
And don't you think a guy who's like he's a brain surgeon, right? Mm-hmm. Right? Okay, so he may not even understand the thing that people are putting on him.
And that's the thing that like I look at it as is that, because I look at, say, trolls. I'm going to look at a troll. And you look at what's Tommy Lasorda or fucking
Tommy
whoever,
Lauren?
yeah, whoever the fuck she is. Yeah, I mean, like, and who just got recently fired. You know,
I know who.
and
you mean.
yeah, I mean, like, you know, I
one
don't like
who
to
looks
say her
into the
name because I don't
camera.
want to give her, but like, you know, but she like
The blonde girl who's like 24
the blonde,
years old.
yeah.
and
So
she says horrible things.
yeah, for money. And
yeah.
here's the thing, right? And I think that you know, when I look at a troll and I look at certain pundits or whatever, there's some people that say what they say because they really believe it, right?
Yeah.
And they're just very boisterous about it. They're, you know, and they're just, yeah, I mean, and then there's people that say it because they know that they're going to get paid to say it, but know better, right? And I think that she's one of those types. And I think you have these pundits and you have these people in these positions, right? You look at whether it's politics, religion, like there's, you know, so many different, you know, structures where I think that even a preacher or a news guy, they'll say it and they don't believe it, but they're pushing that because it's better for their career. Those are trolls, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, like, and I think that like people don't understand the difference with that.
But there's this weird thing, right? And I'm not going to pretend like I understand, you know, all of the dynamics of because I mean the one thing I can tell you, just as an outsider looking in, is that there is no one black experience, right? So that's the only thing.
There's no one any. Yeah,
that's why it's hard for us to understand on the outside, right? But I will say this: if I'm Ben Carson's image consultant, right? Like if I'm his professional marketing person,
You take the microphone.
you take the microphone. That's exactly what you'd be like, dude. Look, I'm glad everything worked out for you. I just need you to understand that for some people, they're going to get mad, and I don't see what the benefit is for you.
Well, I mean, but that's the thing is that like I don't know if Ben Carson is the guy that gets it and is just saying it because you know it's advantageous for him, or
Can
if he
we
actually
assume that
believes.
he's smart as a brain surgeon?
Yeah, well,
I mean, it's
you could be a brain surgeon, and that's the thing that people like because I've talked to so many smart people that are genius in their field, but are completely fucking ignorant and when it comes to anything else. And you figure the mind really only has so many things that it can focus on at a time. If that is your thing, that is the thing that you've been doing your whole life is brain surgery and the whole nine, you might not be the most theologically advanced
so
or
I'm
the
just gonna leave it
politically
here.
advanced, the history buff or whatever. So people just tell you this. And like when you look at like, and it's not just a black experience, you look at white folks, right? And I have more in common with a poor white man than I do with a rich black dude that has always been and come from that. Just because you know you can kind of understand the struggle, you know, coming up. So you look
it's
at
not a life of luxury.
Yeah, exactly. So you look at a Ben Carson or whatever who has been basically in this, you know, he was young. He made fucking history at a younger age. Yeah. He's always been in this thing.
And all credit for that.
Yeah, I mean, and he's been in this environment. And when you're in that environment and just coming from a successful level where we're at now, and I mean, like as you progress, it gets wider. I mean, it just really is because that's what the success ladder looks like. The higher you get up, the wider it gets. Mm-hmm. And with a Ben Carson being in that environment for the majority of his life, he's gonna take on some of those.
Right. I don't think I definitely don't think he meant the harm that came out.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
But he probably he was looking at that statement through a white lens and didn't understand how disrespectful it would be.
Mm-hmm. And it's radioactive is my only point, right? Like if you know that something is radioactive and you're smart enough to be a brain surgeon, I get what you're saying about like people being smart doesn't always necessarily mean that they have common sense, right? They're two totally different
retain
columns.
information well.
But when something's radioactive, don't touch it. You know, it's not complicated.
But I mean,
but he just said it out of his own
sure
mouth.
did.
Yeah,
he did.
He wasn't led to that shit.
But now
I hope not.
But now he's like he's got a government position as the head of HUD, right?
Yeah,
the housing development.
Job.
So I mean, it's like, well, should his publicist had told him to stop because he's gainfully employed right now?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's working for him.
Well,
you see what I'm saying?
What? Like rent wasn't going to clear?
I'm just saying, like, I don't know what his
man. Thank God for that HUD gig, or else I wasn't going to be able to pay for the Porsche.
I mean, like I said, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it depends on what you consider success.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, what you value or whatever. And in his sphere, that's an accomplishment. Like, I mean, he's a fucking brain surgeon / head of HUD. Like he has.
Still don't know.
Okay, but hang on. Like a lot of, and this is actually
I don't know how he got that job.
Because he said dumb shit like,
yeah, well, I know how.
Was basically recruitment. Yeah,
I just don't know.
So that's why I'm like,
how
I can't. Like, it's like, yeah, it was coonish and shit. You sold us out. you're dumb as fuck, but at the same time, you're gainfully employed at a very high position in your age. Like, not many people can say they've got what you're going on right now. Like,
I'm not buying. Again, so like a lot of what we deal with on my show and your show, whether you guys really call it this or not, is about power, right? You know, and I mean, like, you got to understand the dynamics of power, right? You know, you got to understand, like, you guys can make fun of the powerful because that's funny. Right? Making fun of a guy for being homeless, not funny.
No.
Right? And pretty horrible.
Yeah.
Right? Like on a human level, not even an entertainment level. Like I'm sure there's somebody out there right now pushing homeless jokes, right? And they make enough to, you know, eat warm spaghetti every night, right? But what I do, what you do, it's all about power. And you have to understand how those levers work, right? So if you're in that position where you're the head of HUD and you don't understand power and you don't understand the dynamics of it, yeah, you are 50 miles from where you're supposed to be. You're not anywhere close because if you don't understand the dynamics of power, then you cannot relate to the normal human being that you're going to bump into on a sidewalk. And that's just my opinion. I've been wrong about enough stuff, man.
Yeah, no, that is true to life.
So on your show, how many people do you encounter, or how many of your guests really understand the dynamic of being self-employed and what it takes? The type of investment, be it, you know, financial or time or just, you know, mental investment to actually make their idea work.
So a lot of times I've got people who are kind of already like hip deep in their idea, or they're not even people with an idea. They're people who guide other people, right? Okay. So like this past week, we had a great show with Eliada Griffinell, and she's the director of the Massey Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation over at Robert Morris.
Yes.
And let me tell you something. She's fantastic, right? And she's going to tell you all about like exactly what you just asked. Like, do you know what you're biting off? Right. Mm-hmm. I try not to be the guy who tells you. I try not to be the guy who takes all the power in that relationship. Again, we're back to power, right? Mm-hmm. I want to ask good questions. I don't want to give any answers.
That's a therapist.
Yeah, maybe.
You put him on the couch.
Not to tell you what
no,
I do.
I put him in that chair right there.
Yeah, not to tell anybody what I do in my day job, but that's definitely a therapist. Well, you ask because you want to ask questions that they may not have asked themselves, and kind of like, you know, not so much lead them to something, but maybe, you know what I mean, like give them the door, open the door to new realization.
But you can make 1,000 worlds out of shit I don't know. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to sit here and I'm going to give everybody the same recipe, right? That, first of all, then you got a bunch of people making the same exact cake, right? Yeah. That doesn't make any sense. But what I do want to do is I want to find out basically like what makes you tick. What is it that's going to make you confident that you're going to have success? Because if you believe it, that's like 80 yards downfield. If you just know that it's going to work, you will find ways to make it work. And if you know it won't work, I'm here to tell you it won't. There's all kind of, you remember when Twitter got started and everybody was like, I don't get it. Twitter got started as like, okay, well, here's this thing where you could put like 140 characters on other people's phones.
Yeah.
You know, like we already have this and it's not restrictive. Now, all of a sudden, everybody's on Twitter. I read it for my news every morning, and I don't even necessarily tweet that much, right?
I mean, well,
I missed the whole stage where people weren't into Twitter. Like when I got introduced to Twitter, it was popping.
Yeah, I was reluctant in the Twitter.
When was that? Because I remember everybody going, "This is stupid." Everybody wants
when
to show you
it
their
first came
breakfast.
out, it was weird as shit. 2012, I think it started to pick up.
Yeah, I think that's about the time that I got hip to
If you look at the first 3 tweets in my timeline, it's like, all right, let's see if I can make sense of this thing. Right?
Yeah,
it's like,
I think most people are just like, "What's this?"
And now I love it.
So, but I mean, the thing is, so many people do get into something and they do wholeheartedly believe in it, and it does turn into shit. What if you were to say maybe top three things, top three commonalities, parallels, threads to entrepreneurship success, like, you know, that you've noticed in your expertise? What would maybe say to 3 if you could boil them down?
Okay, so the first one is, if you tell me who you run with, I'll tell you who you are, right?
Birds of a feather, you're a company that you keep.
Yeah, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Yeah, very good.
Right?
Very good. Yeah.
I got a LinkedIn account. I can read all these things.
I gotta stop hanging out.
That's why I fear for you, man. Because I'm like, I'd be like, man.
He's definitely in my fave 5 right now. Here's what's fucked up about my life. It's Day, my girlfriend, and then my 2 kids, which that ain't gonna help me a lot.
I don't know. That feels like a mirror to me. I don't even think they count.
Okay, good. Then
Yeah, I don't think the
Word,
kids
you
count.
Cool.
Be like, whoever it is that I'm the average of likes Barney, and I don't
And
know,
shits himself.
Yeah. Well, wait a minute. Maybe that's closer to home than I thought. But no. So the first one is, if you hang out with people who tell you that you're not going to succeed, you're not going to succeed. If you hang out with a bunch of cynical people that are going to tell you about how life sucks, then life sucks, right? And there's nothing I can do to fix that. There's no question I can ask. It's going to pull you out of that. You've got to make that decision, right? The second bit is nobody owes you anything, right? And
I
that's
tweeted
comedy.
that out a couple. I was like,
dude, that's comedy though.
yeah, when you wake up, if you just tell yourself that nobody owes you shit. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's going to do this but you.
Nobody knows it's like comics.
Nobody's going to miss you when you're gone. That, like, for me is a thing that, like, is a daily affirmation for me, is because, like, I get into those modes where I'm like, maybe somebody, because, like, when you work a 9 to 5, you get into that, like, all right, well, if I'm not going to do this, or maybe I could rely on somebody else. When you're in the entrepreneurial sense, nobody else is doing that except for you. You know what I mean? Like, and, you know, again, like, nobody's going to miss you if you don't do it yourself, and nobody owes you anything. So anytime you get into that, like, sense of entitlement, like, oh, I did this for somebody, or da 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 da, like, this is all free flowing, like, this,
Right.
you know, what would you believe that those karma or whatever the fuck, those are myths.
Not only
Karma's
that,
not a myth.
but on top of that,
No, I don't believe it, but like, to think that because I did this, I'm going to get this, that's not, yeah,
No,
I mean,
that-
like, you know.
But I know what you're saying. Ed, I think you're trying to say, like, if you put good stuff into the world, good stuff comes back to you.
yeah.
And if you're the guy who's always sweeping the leg out from underneath other people,
Eventually.
that's
Yeah,
coming back at you.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Definitely.
But in terms of, you know, and like, I'm not joking. Comics know this better than anybody else. Nobody owes you a laugh, right? And that's a line that there's no fixing it, right? Somebody might come to you and say, like, hey, I like your politics, right? Or I like your identity, and I want to give you this because I think that you belong to this group that got an unfair shake, right? And I know an awful lot of, like, minority and women business owners who, even when they're successful, they look back at it. They're like, did I deserve it? Right? Like, they never get that shadow off their heart about, like, you know, like, was this handed to me? Right? Comics, on the other hand, there is no special government program for a laugh, right? We're like, well, we better laugh at him because he's an Eskimo, right? That doesn't happen like that. And then the third thing I would probably say is, your idea is worthless. Your idea is absolutely worthless. Your sweat is the gas that's going to fuel the engine, right? If you have a truly unique idea, no one wants it, right? A truly unique idea is inconvenient, uncomfortable, and it challenges people to change their behavior, and they don't want to do that.
Nobody is like, they hear that and they're like, that's fucking cool shit.
Oh man, I
Do
can't,
that.
dude. How do I get on the ground
Yeah.
floor? They're like, please don't ask me for money. Please don't ask me. Oh my god, don't ask me for money. How do I make my phone ring so he doesn't ask me for my money? That's normal, right?
Yeah.
And then what you find out a lot of times is when people start to get, like, a little bit of confidence, then they're like, I need this non-disclosure agreement. I need to make it so that nobody can steal my idea. No one cares. The earth is getting sucked into the sun, and no one cares. Your sweat is what's going to make the difference, right? And sweat, I mean, that's wisdom, that's experience, that's push, that's luck, that's timing. I mean, I'm generalizing
it's work. I mean, that's the thing, is the thing that we again say on the podcast all the time, is that you could be talented, but if you don't put the work in to get your whatever the fuck that is out,
Right.
then it doesn't fucking matter.
every day,
Not
all day.
given. Earned, not given.
Every day. There is no special, hey, you're lazy day, right? Hey, today's the day we're going to let some lazies sneak through. No,
Yeah.
that's not a real
No.
thing.
So I asked the question and then we got into some other shit. But what is it about your podcast that you felt separated? Like, I mean, you
Oh,
were
yeah,
like,
we
this
got
is
way off the
Yeah,
track,
we got
didn't we?
all the way off. What separates you? Like, when you got in, you were like, this is going to be something new, something different that other folks like. I mean,
Okay, so I used to do consulting, right? Like, exclusively, this was my touch on other people's stuff, right? Was you would find out about me through Silicon Valley or New York or DC, which are the three main places I would trade. And somebody would say to you, hey, I need to train my sales team, or hey, how do we even build that sales team, right? And if you knew the right people, you'd come to me. I'd do these consulting gigs, maybe a week long, follow up with a few phone calls like once a week for a couple months, right? So I got 2 kids now, right? 16, 11, good kids, right? And I was missing too much. And, you know, I feathered my nest enough that maybe I didn't need to be so hard on the gas pedal, right? And I still enjoy, like, borrowing a little bit of sun, you know, from somebody else's day, right? You know, and it's like, hey, you know, how can I be involved in what other people are working on? So you go, you know, okay, well, what if we did a show, like a weekly show, where we're talking about what people are working on? It keeps my wheels turning, keeps me in the scene a little bit,
Right.
Have a little bit of fun with it.
And at the same time, you're surrounding yourself with people.
I got great people, man.
You're making you're strengthening your 5.
I am. And I didn't even see that coming. You're wiser about that than I was. I did not see how much stronger my 5 was going to get.
We didn't either when we started this or whatever. It was just like, you know, we wanted a different outlet for the comedy. You know, it wasn't like we didn't expect it to be what it is now. And what we have found is that, you know, our network has grown exponentially and the bonds that we have has strengthened because.
Yeah, you guys are on fire.
Well,
don't even try. This thing
like,
stares at me. This award plaque over here, this thing stares at
We're
me
genuine.
every week.
We're
like,
genuine people, and people are always going to gravitate towards someone who's genuine.
I agree with that.
Because you know exactly where you stand with that person.
You don't necessarily understand why something is fake, but you know that it's fake.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's hard to duplicate fake, right? So you're not saying like it's fake because his eyes are wrong or his voice is wrong or whatever, but you know fake when you feel it and you stay away from it.
And that comes out in sales for real.
Exactly. And that's the difference between a product that you believe in and a product that you don't, but like you're a good salesman. Because as a good salesman, there's only but so much rope that you could take, you know what I mean, on a product that you don't believe in.
Yeah.
Before people are like, nah.
But hang on a second.
know.
So let's pull that story out, right? So what happens when you're just a guy who needs a job, right? I mean, you can't necessarily be on a holy crusade every single time you take a paycheck, right? Mm-hmm. So the question becomes, how do you find the right thing about this thing you signed on with? Let's go back to the bank that we were talking about, right? Yeah. Okay, so you don't necessarily have any passion for working at ABC Bank, right? ABC Federal Credit Union with 27 different branches, right? You're like, this is not me. This is not helping the people I want to help, right? You know, like, how do you make that work? And the answer is, and this is sort of critical to the whole concept, is you got to find out what value somebody can get out of what you've got and then find those people, right? You may not be able to save everybody, right? But you look at your product and you be like, this would be really good for entrepreneurs. Our product is perfect for large businesses who want to hire more people. Right? And then you start to invest in it in such a way that you can show up in front of them and tell them how you're really honestly going to help them. Yeah. And as long as they're not villains, I think most of us can live with that.
Yeah, no, identifying, like you said, you
got to know what you're good at. Identify, like being in a bank, one thing that you got to do, and I learned this, like if you're in a retail bank, you got to find value in that community.
Yes.
Like if you're in a bank that has hundreds of branches, you don't represent the entire bank. You represent that bank to that community, and you want to be a part of that community, and you want to strengthen that community. So every interaction you have with an individual, they're a part of that community, and it's how can I make you better? Because if I make you better and you better and you better and I make all these people better, what? The community's coming up. Now we have more money to spend. We have more educated people who are financially literate and things like that.
And you can fake stuff for a small period of time.
You can. You got to fake it a little bit. Hell, women taught me that. You got to fake it a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been married for 15 years. I'm glad not to have that problem.
You might be lying, but as far as you know,
I mean, we fake it a little bit too. Like that first date when we don't know if you something serious, so we just try to get with you. Yeah, we want to hear about.
Oh no, I worked with my wife. Dude,
okay.
let me tell you, all cards.
Oh wait,
you did it wrong
before you.
What?
Oh, that is.
How did y'all graduate to that?
So first of all, you can cinch up your chin strap, and you know that you just went into a battlefield.
You're not. You don't work together anymore.
Oh, that's no.
Yeah, that had to end.
No.
Yeah, it was either that or like because I mean, I've had people that work like I've never personally dated anybody that like I don't shit where I eat type thing. Not just but it was just because I don't like to see somebody every day in a forced.
I've shat where I ate.
Like I just because it's a forced situation. Like I mean, even in high school, it was just a thing. It was like.
Here's the thing about shitting.
I gotta see you.
You think you set out like you wake up in the morning, you're like, hey, you know what? I think I'm gonna fall in love with that girl right there, right? Like sometimes you play the cards you get.
Well, Well,
That's
here's my
why
thing: is
shitting where you eat is not always
It's not always
negative.
bad.
Because guess what? Wherever you shit, you want that to be the most pleasant bathroom as possible. I'll tell you that. And shitting where you eat, hey, she might bring you some shit for lunch every day. You got to learn how to work with
Today
the
I
situation
learned
you're
Ed
in.
is a
Man, but
romantic.
I'm not necessarily
no,
romantic.
no.
I'm just like, yo, I'm trying to build this situation
those-
where
those
it's
are the
most
good-
advantageous.
I'm
for
loving it.
Those are the good.
You and me are on the
stories.
same page right now.
Those
There
are
are
the
some
good. Those are the
terrible
good
stories.
stories. But that's. I mean, you got to look at your percentages, man. Like, it could just as easily, I mean, more or less than not be a situation where you wake up and you see her the next day, and then she just, sitting on your desk and being too much.
Oh, you talking about the
whatever.
office speaking?
Yeah,
office?
so, yeah, and
The
just
office
telling folks,
speaking,
like, hey,
office,
that's.
yeah.
I think-
yeah, that's,
I think I'm going to take everything you just said and file it under C for crazy, which is an entirely different problem, right? Like what you're talking about is crazy problems.
But
right?
then what if it goes sour and you're like, you know what? I
That is
don't
real.
want to. Listen, you're cool. We're cool. I'm cool. That whole thing. But like, this isn't going to work. But I'll see you tomorrow morning. Like that.
You're not wrong there.
Well, then what you got to make her realize is, listen, you could sabotage your career because I'm going to behave and I'm going to perform as normal regardless of what our situation is.
Yeah.
If you want to act different, then you got to explain that to HR.
But here's the other thing.
You got to go to HR.
I
with
met
that.
my wife at like 22 years old. Right?
Okay.
So I mean, it's not like I was in the
Oh,
long-term
nah,
retirement plan.
Yeah.
right?
You're just at a job. Yeah. That's all right.
I was at a
cool.
job. I wasn't
Yeah.
necessarily in a career.
Yeah, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
I feel
If
you.
you're 35 and up, don't listen to a word I just said for like the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I just gave
You had
you.
the chicken shack. It's like,
Yeah, I just stuck an M80 in your hand and dared you to close your hand on it. That's a bad idea.
Listen, if you're 22, fellas, don't fall for the chick that's so mature and has wifey credentials. Don't fall for her at 22. Take your time, all right?
He lies. That's great stuff.
No.
He's lying.
No. You ain't got to fall for it. You got
don't
plenty
have
of
to do
time,
anything.
fella. You got plenty of time.
You don't have to
I've
do
seen
anything.
it happen to a bunch of dudes. I
was a guy who wasn't getting married, right? Like I was the guy who was like,
See,
married.
don't-
Why am I going to bet somebody half my stuff that I'm going to love them forever? Is like I
No.
forget whose line that
You
is.
can't tell me that you met your wife when you were in your early 20s and you were the guy that wasn't getting married. That's
I was.
not a that you can't. Well, nobody was getting
That was your
married
first
at
mistake.
20.
That's
Okay.
your first mistake. Don't say what you're not gonna do because you don't know who you're gonna meet.
Actually,
but what I'm saying is,
Ed and I go to the same church.
yeah, don't say what you're not gonna do. That's the
go to
mistake.
church?
That's the mistake that most dudes make. We try to, and this is advice that I've given to younger dudes. That when I was in college, I was talking to younger dudes, and it was like, "Yo, how you do this, that, and third?" I said, "Listen, the way you get popular with women, in my opinion, is you treat every woman individually. Why do you take women and categorize them or classify them right off top?
Dude, this is a masterclass.
You treating them a certain way, and they gonna feel either super into you, like to the point where you like, yo, you need to pump the brakes, or they're gonna feel disrespected by you. Just take this woman as who she is and deal with her accordingly. It's gonna.
This is a 2000
Yeah.
level class over at CMU right here.
Well, so to wrap all of this into the same package is, I think, first and foremost, is confidence in yourself.
Yeah.
If you're selling a product, if you're selling yourself, if you're dating, whatever you're doing, confidence in self, right? I mean,
But
if you
also
don't
know what
have,
you're out to do.
Well, so I mean, so if you don't if you don't
Yeah.
have that confidence, that's gonna be, they're gonna see through that at some point. Then knowing what you want to do. If I'm gonna be dating you for this, or if I'm gonna be dating you for that, or if I'm gonna be selling this for this, or knowing that, because then when those questions, if you approach it from the beginning as that, when those questions come, you could be like, listen. I didn't misconstrue this,
You
man.
gotta
I
go
already
to-
know this.
You gotta go to HR with this
Yeah,
issue.
like I approached this from here, and I've been,
My
so-
numbers
I
are
love
here. Like whatever you going
I got
through.
this visual, like wherever Ed has worked, they put his desk right next to HR, right?
Oh, I'm definitely. I keep their jobs very
They're
interesting.
like, we're moving your cube over here.
I'm super referral man for HR.
We
Yeah,
don't want you walking too far. That sounds like exercise.
I transfer him right from the desk to HR. All right, you're gonna have to knock on the cubicle next to me.
He doesn't even have to get up out of his chair. He just kind of leans forward a little bit, does a little shuffle in his chair, knock, knock.
Like, hey,
Yeah, I
Kathy,
did it again.
We got one, Kathy.
I did it again. You want to come to my place, or should I get up and come to yours?
You know what? I'm you go leave my cubicle, go sit in the lobby.
You got that little sliding transaction window in your cube, right? Like it slides open, and the HR lady's sitting there, and be like, "Okay, what do you have to confess, my son?"
It's like a confessional, baby. All right, listen, me and this girl, we went to the South Side on Saturday.
Go on.
now she want to leave her toothbrush at the crib. Yeah. And I told her no.
So what is your favorite booze? And why?
So yeah, I brought you one of my examples. I like the Lafroig.
Mm-hmm.
I like that the smell. I like the way it kind of just fills up the room.
You know what?
I notice how everybody's working the Lafroig.
No, I've been enjoying this a lot. I don't know if people are listening at home, but this conversation has definitely been very Lafroig influenced.
I would say
yes, it has, and it's kind of up until I started getting ignorant. It was very mature.
It was,
and then I had to bring it back to the partners pod. All right?
I don't know about that. You know what? I'm not. No, you're not getting away with that one. You got to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but.
You never have to tell the truth.
But this definitely was. This whole conversation was brought to you by the fine folks at Lafroig.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing that I found in England when I was over there, and that whole little island is that like they're mad proper, they're hard to break the ice, they don't talk to you know what I mean, on the streets, but like Fridays and Saturday nights, like when they turn up, they turn all the way up because they're so reserved on the weekdays. And I feel like this is an example of that. Like, you know what I mean? It's got the peatiness, you know what I mean? It's got a little kind of a mossy, it's like a reserved kind of cloudy day, but, you know, when it's time to turn up,
I wasn't going to come to the
it turns
Partners
up.
podcast with my B game, right?
Well, you bring your A game, and then part of the game is to see how Day describes the liquor. Like, because you know that's
right.
what he prides himself on his description.
That's how I know I'm not a beer guy. That is, I'm listening to him talk to me about like craft beers on my phone, and I'm like, yeah, this isn't me.
He hasn't said the word moss in 12 years, and he said it twice on the podcast.
It's like licking a rock. Like it really, you know, I feel like I'm
in the best way possible.
I feel like I'm licking North right now. Like this Scotch tastes like North.
Well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna sell
a very delicious North.
We're gonna sell Lafroig his new its sales tag or sales pitch, which is Lafroig smells like Scotland, because that's what they said earlier.
Yeah, I think you got to take your whole like sponsorship game international. Right?
We should do that.
I'm just saying. Right,
Man.
like I was there when I saw the drinking partners drink Lafroig, and your check is now due.
Hell yeah!
I'll broker the deal. I only take 15%.
See, we gotta have Scott on more podcasts because he's always thinking about the bottom line. Yeah. Even if it's roundabout, it's like, hey, this is how you should position your product. Because the term position, that's one of those salesman words. Position your product. That's a salesman word. Kind of like when the hospital tells you, oh, you're gonna experience some discomfort. That means the shit's gonna hurt like a motherfucker.
But discomfort, that sounds like something you can live through.
Yeah, like, all right, so you bottom line guy, we appreciate that. This has been fun. You got to let the people know where they can find you, though.
So I really want you to check out just the show. Just come to pitchworks.com. We got all our episodes there. We are part of the Epicast family. So, you know, Buzzy's back there probably busting his hump right now on another episode of the Pitchworks podcast.
Drinking Lafroig.
We get for real. We come out every Wednesday morning and talk about basically like how it is that you can present your ideas at work and get a little bit further ahead in the game. You know, see where your script can take a jump ahead.
And it's not just work where the value is. It's just in life, man. Understand what the fuck you're doing, why you're doing it, and what you're strong at doing.
Yeah.
Like the most successful people, they take their strengths and they maximize on it. They fucking exploit their strengths.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I think a lot of people, they got a very clear sign from God what they're supposed to be doing, and they do something different anyway. And that's one of the things I'm hoping to do is kind of wake people up a little bit.
Yeah, like let them know that like that is what you should be doing and to take a leap.
Whatever people told you is not going to work, that's not necessarily true, right? I guarantee you I'm sitting with you two guys and somebody told you comedy's not a career.
Nobody told me comedy was a career.
For real.
Yeah.
Nobody said, hey, you can raise them two kids off these jokes you're going to tell at that VFW on Saturday.
Those better be some good jokes.
No.
My good friend John, you know, he was growing up and people told him he wasn't going to be a drummer, right? He was not only now has he made a career as a drummer, but now he's building drums for other people, the whole thing. Yeah. If you love something enough, right, there's always a way. But you got to be good. You got to have timing. I mean, it's not just that. It's a whole slew of things. Yeah. But you're only going to live one time, and why are you going to do it sweating somebody else's sweat?
YOLO.
And I also think knowing your weaknesses and accepting that helps you with the strengths. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and when you say that, surround yourself with 5 people or whatever, like the 5 people that I've chosen to surround myself with are people that will tell me if I'm doing something that is like, what, maybe like if I'm fucking up, they'll let me know I'm fucking up. And when I'm doing well, they're able to give me that as well.
But nobody knows what you're talking about. All respect. Nobody knows what you're talking about the way it is up on stage.
Yeah.
Nobody knows how hard it is to bomb.
Yeah.
And
I mean, and it's finding that. I think it's finding that tightrope between yes men. You don't want a yes man.
Right.
You also don't want a constant naysayer. Find somebody that you can respect the opinion that's able to give a little bit of both.
you need somebody who tells you how to improve without knocking you down.
Constructive criticism is the hardest thing to find.
Everybody's got an opinion. They're not hard to come by. Apparently, you can go to the dirty.
Dirty.com.
Today I learned.
You can go to the dirty.com and get mad opinions on yourself. We have to with this episode, we got to put out a pamphlet of how you divorce like somebody who was in your fave 5, but you got to get them out of your fave 5. Like, hey, listen, this relationship, I've enjoyed it, but it's not necessarily conducive to me bettering myself.
Yeah.
I can't help you with that. I'm too abrupt.
I could tell y'all one way, this is funny. This chick, she decided she ain't want to fuck with me no more. She got me out of her fave 5 in the coolest way ever. We were on the phone. She was talking. She was like, all right, yo, I'm taking my Ed jersey off. I was like,
Whoa.
God damn. I didn't know you had an Ed. She said,
Where do I get
She
one?
said, I'm taking my Ed jersey off and burning it. I was like, damn, we ain't cool no more. Huh?
What did you do?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does. No. You spurred creativity. I want to know how.
I tried to send her to HR. That's what I tried to do.
Slid that little transaction window. They're like, sorry, I'm burning my jersey too. HR lady won't return your phone call either. When you spur creativity like that, you did something.
Yeah, it was strange at the time.
You know how hard it was
cool.
to get creativity out of people?
in a time where they're actually upset. Like that was the thing. She was really upset, and there's no comeback for someone telling you.
It's okay.
To
We're gonna turn the mics off in a minute. You can tell me the real story.
She didn't say she was taking. She said she was taking it off and burning it. Like not only am I taking it off,
this
I'm
was not a
destroying
passing whim. This was not a Donald Trump passing whim. This was like a for real policy decision that was made.
Man.
And what's so cool is I could tell that story to the podcast because she's not going to listen to it. She burned my jersey.
She was like, I am disassociating myself with all things Bailey.
Exactly.
So those who have forgotten, where can they find you online?
They can find me at pitchworks.com. Put the E in the word works. So it's PITCHWERKS. Basically, all my social channels are the same. Pitchworks. Whether you're on the link.
Brand continuity.
Another sales term.
How is it you guys are doing all the technical talk? And I'm basically just slinging whiskey.
It's the Lefroy.
It is the Lefroy.
Because here's the thing about good alcohol. It doesn't bring out just the negative part of you. It doesn't bring out the bullshit in you. You can have really good conversations with good alcohol. It's a part of your fave 5. It's like, hey, listen, you get some people you can drink with and build with.
Yeah. It doesn't break, you don't get loopy. You get you bring a little creative side, and you can also be, you can cock your leg up and
let's go with that.
Cross your legs. Yeah,
I'm not buying, but that's cool.
Day hasn't slurred this episode, so congratulations. You brought him really good liquor.
I had to stay up, man. After I dapped him up and his hands was like twice my size, I was like, all right, I gotta.
Oh yeah, he got the close
right out of town.
He's got that. I'm finna close the deal hand.
Yeah.
You ain't saying no after
that.
Did
I put the alpha move on you?
It's very rare that I meet anybody on the planet that has a hand size as large as it be.
I got some meat hooks. That's for real.
Word.
All right, so they let the people know where they can find us.
Well, if you're looking for us, you can find us on epicastnetwork.com/partnerspod. You can find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook at Drinking Partners, and you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, and Libsyn under Drinking Partners. That was all bullshit. All that shit that I just said. So we'll do that again. If you're looking for it.
Okay, so let me retract my statement about the slurring.
You were only a minute early.
The liquor has had an effect on Day.
The Scots know how to build this stuff.
If you're looking for us, you can find us on epicastnetwork.com/partnerspod. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, and Libsyn under Drinking Partners. And you can find us on IG, Facebook, and Twitter at PartnersPod.
I still don't know if that was right, but
it felt right. I'm letting them go. I'll allow it.
No. Wait, is it Drinking Partners? Is Epicast Network?
iTunes, Stitcher, and Libsyn, IG, Facebook.
What is Epicast? Is it epicastnetwork.com/Drinking Partners?
I thought it was Partners Pod.
Is it Partners Pod?
I don't know. I just work here.
Hey, Buzzy.
Hey, man, first of all, this conversation is supposed to be happening after we close out the episode.
Hey, Buzzy.
So,
What, is it epicastnetwork.com/partnerspod or epicastnetwork.com/drinking partners? It's Partners Pod. If you're looking for us, you can find us on epicastnetwork.com/partnerspod. You can find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook at partnerspod. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, and Google Play
at
under
Drinking Partners. Because we're Googleable. Dave finally got it right. We want to thank our guest, Scott from Pitchworks, man. Very great conversation. You guys go over there, listen, get your mind right, get your life together. We are Drinking Partners. As always, Drinking Partners is the crew. Epicast is the family. And we out.